This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon, it's Thursday, April 25th, 2024. Peace is a path to the prosperity of a nation, let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, court sets aside warrant for arrest of Chief of Staff, Rivers State Government House, others. Rivers Commissioner for Information disagrees with resigned commissioners. 118 inmates escape from correctional center in Niger State. Federal Airport Authority diverts flight at Murtala Mohammed Airport after fire incident. On the foreign scene, rights group accuse Burkina Faso army of mass killing. I'm Ifichukwumoyele with the news. Now, reports just coming in say Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court has set aside a warrant of arrest for the Chief of Staff to the Rivers State Government House, Edison Ehe. Justice Nwite also set aside the warrant of arrest of Chibike O. Peter, Fatima Jinjiri, and Adokiye Onyageri. The judge said he was misled by the police. Recall that Edison Ehe and others were declared wanted by the police for alleged terrorism. They were also alleged to be involved in the burning of part of the complex of the Rivers State House of Assembly. In another development, an appeal court in Port Harcourt yesterday reserved judgment in a suit challenging the order of the State High Court, which struck out a suit seeking to declare the peace agreement reached in Abuja unconstitutional. Recall that the State High Court struck out the suit for lack of jurisdiction. The suit was filed by elder statesman Anab Saraiwe and 9 others against President Bola Tinubu, Governor Siminalayi Fubara, Martin Amihule, Rivers House of Assembly, and the PDP. Mr. Saraiwe and 9 others are advocating that the case be reassigned to a different judge. One of the lawyers to Anab Saraiwe and 9 others, Kema Eberechi Madwabuchukwu, spoke to correspondent Mekotoka after the court proceedings.
We are saying that the Court of Appeal should send the matter back to uphold the appeal and send the matter back to the CJ for reassignment to another court because justice was denied. But that's just exactly what we're asking the court to do. The matter will be there for judgment. Judgment will communicate it to us.
Mr. Saraiwe also spoke.
What we are saying that the entire 8-point agenda agreed between Mr. President and the governor are null and void, unconstitutional. Mr. President do not have right to overrule the court of law. We also say the House of Assembly, they are no longer members of the House of Assembly by virtue of the fact that they decamp from their party, the party that sponsored them, to another party. And we strongly believe that for peace to reign in Rivers State, justice must be done.
As you may know, he and 9 others are asking the court to restrain the 27 lawmakers from parading and functioning as lawmakers following their defection to the APC, as well as restraining the governor from reappointing the 9 commissioners who resigned their positions, among others. And now the Commissioner for Information and Communications in Rivers State, Joe Johnson, has described as a fallacy the excuse by the former Commissioner for Justice Zaccheaus Adango that the governor was interfering with his duties. Mr. Johnson said the former Commissioner for Justice should have raised the alarm before the redeployment. He spoke on Nigerian 4FM's Morning Crossfire.
There's a fallacy of hasty generalization, is to say the least that the person is not saying the full truth. They came back in January. We're just in April now. We've had 2 ESCOs. The last ESCO we had on Tuesday last week. Former Commissioner for Finance, Isaac Kamal, was actually the one who moved the motion for adjournment. The only person who wasn't there in the other ESCO, Attorney General, he was on apology. You have a right to resign. The governor has a right to sack. If I take the public opinion to mean anything, it means that they resigned just because they were reassigned.
Mr. Johnson also disagreed with the position raised by the former Commissioner for Finance, Isaac Kamalo, on the internally generated revenue.
We have projects that are running. We are not borrowing money because we have been able to rejig our IGR. Isaac has acknowledged in his writing that there is an increase. His only difference is that the quantum of what the governor is saying and what he thinks are the only difference. But I put it to him that I would have expected that you should have put a finger on how much or what percentage of rise that he has experienced if truly he was on his desk.
Yesterday, the two commissioners who were redeployed by Governor Siminalayi Fubara rejected the redeployment and resigned their positions. It is the second time they will be resigning from office. As you may know, a circular by the Secretary to the State Government, Tammy Danagogo, redeployed the Commissioner for Finance, Isaac Kamalo, to the Ministry of Employment, Generation and Economic Empowerment, and the State Attorney General, Zakios Adango, to the Ministry of Special Duties, Governor's Office. Both commissioners are among the core loyalists of the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike. In his resignation letter, the former Attorney General, Professor Adango, accused the governor of interfering with his duties by directing him not to defend, oppose, or appear in suits instituted against him and the state government by those he said were hired and sponsored by the state government. Now, on the spot, the former Commissioner for Finance, Isaac Kamalo, said the policy frameworks he initiated led to a steady rise in internal revenue receipts, which resulted in the IGR presently generated in the state, although not the figures claimed in the media. Recall that last week, Governor Fubara said the state's IGR grew from about 11 billion naira under the previous administration to between 26 billion naira and 27 billion naira in about 1 year of his tenure. Still to come, 118 inmates escape from correctional center in Niger State. Stay with us. Yeah, welcome back, and now the rest of the news. A child psychologist, Esther Wogugu, says the schoolgirl who was bullied at the British Lead International School, Abuja, Namtira Bwala, will need therapy. The mental health professional tells our correspondent that the girl may have gone into freeze mode during the incident in the viral video, which is a kind of trauma response, explaining why she couldn't fight back at the time.
And we all saw from the video how quiet and calm she was. She didn't say or react or do anything. Someone at the background was even asking, won't you say something? Won't you talk? You know, so we can say psychologically that child went into a freeze mode. And in freeze mode, you can hardly do anything or say anything or take any step. Okay, so that's a trauma response. That's even enough evidence that that child has been traumatized. And that obviously was not the first time. Okay, so she needs to have access to therapy, you know, from a psychotherapist, a child psychologist.
The child psychologist also said the bully needs therapy so as to be reoriented as a childhood trauma could be at play.
And for the bully, also needs to have access to therapy so that she gets reoriented, you know. And because of this bully must have been exposed to childhood trauma, you know, seeing violent and disturbing scenarios at home. So she's also traumatized, and she's also a victim of adverse childhood experiences as a result of parental negligence. So she needs to access therapy so that she gets reoriented.
Now, she called for an effective anti-bully policy in the school. As you may know, the bullied schoolgirl has filed a suit over the incident, asking the school authorities to immediately investigate and pronounce the stiffest possible sanctions in the student's rule book on the 11 students who bullied her. She said if the school authorities fail to sanction the student bullies within 48 hours of the receipt of the letter, she will seek immediate and severe legal redress against the school. Meanwhile, the Rivers State Ministry of Health, alongside the Nigerian Medical Association in the state, have sealed off 2 hospitals in Boni local government area. It comes days after Divine Love Hospitals was sealed off in Rumodara, Obiakpo local government area. In a joint press briefing on Wednesday, the State Commissioner for Health, Adeze Ore, said plans are underway to to also inaugurate an anti-quackery committee.
Unscrupulous individuals are capitalizing on healthcare needs to victimize people, take advantage, and endanger their lives. That we will not stand for. The Rivers State Anti-Quackery Committee will be inaugurated and charged with addressing these unscrupulous acts in our health system under the leadership of His Excellency Governor Siminalayi Fubara. We should do things properly. In alignment with his Health for All Rivers strategy, no area of healthcare delivery should be left unattended.
Also, the State Director of Medical Services, Vincent Wachuku, spoke on the need for registration of medical facilities.
Before you render medical service in Rivers State, your facility must be registered. We certify the place fit to give care to human beings, and then we issue such facility with a certificate. We call it Certificate of Standards. But unfortunately, most of these facilities are not registered. Some of them, the owners are not even qualified medical practitioners. And we can't fold our hands to watch these things to continue to happen. And so we have to fight to ensure that it doesn't continue. And so
now 118 inmates have escaped from a medium security custodial center in Suleja, Niger State. Their escape follows a heavy rainfall in Suleja yesterday, resulting in extensive damage to the facility and enabling them to escape. The spokesperson, Federal Capital Territory Command of the Nigerian Correctional Center Service, Adamu Duza, said 10 of the inmates have been captured. In business, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria says it has diverted all flight operations from the Murtala Mohammed Airport Terminal 1 to the D wing of the airport over a fire incident. In entertainment, American rapper Soulja Boy has made a move to acquire TikTok. This comes after US President Joe Biden signed a law that TikTok must be sold within 9 months to avoid a ban in the United States. In sports, Chelsea may be open to offers from Saudi Arabia for 29-year-old England forward Raheem Sterling, while 25-year-old Spain defender Marc Cucurella could also be sold.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Human Rights Watch (HRW) has accused the Burkina Faso army of killing hundreds of villagers in a revenge attack. HRW investigations found that more than 220 civilians, including at least 56 children and 179 others, in 2 villages were killed in what it termed among the worst army abuse incidents in the country in nearly a decade. Burkina Faso authorities have not commented on the report.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
That's a wrap of the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. A federal high court has set aside the warrant for arrest of Chief of Staff, Rivers State Government House, and others. Rivers Commissioner for Information has disagreed with reasons given by former commissioners for their resignation. 118 inmates have escaped from a correctional center in Niger State. Federal Airport Authorities of Nigeria has diverted flight at Murtala Mohammed Airport after a fire incident. And on the foreign scene, a riots group has accused Burkina Faso army of mass killing. The news was edited by Onyeka Chinwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I'm Ifechukwu Mwanyeli. Many thanks for listening.